Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the February 28th edition of Carolina Week. With the Duke game coming up this weekend, some professors on campus are concerned about after-game dangers.
I'm Natasha Townsend. I'll show you what the Department of Public Safety is doing to crack down on parking violators.
In sports, Duke men's basketball is on a roll and looking for revenge against the Heels on Sunday.
Everybody's favorite weathercaster, Johnny O, is here with your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
All that and some very young salsa dancers. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Kate Schoen.
And I'm Adam Rue. Thanks for joining us. The Duke basketball game is just 4 days away, and UNC students are hoping for a Carolina victory. But some faculty members want uncontrolled celebratory bonfires on Franklin Street put out for good. Reporter John Pope has the story.
Franklin Street looks like this just a few weeks ago. 5,000 people crowded downtown and lit bonfires in celebration of a victory against Duke. But director of the J.C. Burns Center at UNC Hospitals, Bruce Cairns, knows firsthand what can happen when you jump over those fires.
Therapy that requires 6 months, if not longer, years. The hospital charges are in the tens of thousands of dollars.
That's what some people can look forward to after jumping through bonfires. The dangerous injuries that result pushed Cairns and the Faculty Council to pass a resolution encouraging students to celebrate victories in a more responsible manner. Former UNC student and Burns Center resident Branson Page agrees there needs to be a different way to celebrate.
I don't look at this as banning anything. I look at this as rethinking the way we celebrate and making sure that we do it in a fun and safe way.
We all know students rush Franklin Street after key basketball wins, but one night's celebration can lead to weeks or even months of recovery.
People have missed work, have missed semesters in school, and have lifelong scars as a result of an activity that had they known about, they certainly would not have engaged in.
Cairns and Page want you to celebrate those Carolina victories, but they don't want you to end up under their care. In Chapel Hill, I'm John Pope, Carolina Week.
Currently, Duke students must have a permit and town clearance to hold victory bonfires, and NC State students are not allowed to have bonfires when camping out for tickets. If you're one of the many students who didn't get Duke tickets, Friday could be your lucky day. If the online lottery drawing left you empty-handed, you can still win tickets with a lot of dribbling. The person who can dribble the longest wins 2 lower-level seats to the Duke-UNC game on Sunday. Contestants won't be allowed to sit down during the competition, but the Carolina Athletic Association will provide food and drinks. You can go to our website, carolinaweek.org, to learn more about the event or to sign up.
Students continue to remember a classmate a year after he died in a tragic accident at Stacy Residence Hall. On Monday, people celebrated his life through performing arts. The benefit show in the Union Auditorium raised money for the Keith Sean Smith Memorial Fund. Students stepped, danced, sang, and read poetry in remembrance of the sophomore who fell from the 3rd story of his building. The fund's co-founder, Sharia Burnett, says the show reflected Keith's motto, "Keep it moving."
Basically, our goal is to keep his legacy alive on this campus because we found that he was an inspiration to all of us. His vital words were keep it moving, and that's what we're trying to do. Keep it moving for his legacy, for his friends, for his family, especially for his mother.
The money raised from the show will help pay for funeral expenses, Smith's headstone, and a $1,000 scholarship in his honor. Eating disorders are widespread among college-age women and men, and one UNC group is doing something about it. On Monday, students helping to achieve positive esteem, or SHAPE, began National Eating Disorder Week with a celebration of every body. The program included eating disorder information and performances by many student groups like this a cappella choir. For a list of other events this week, please visit the link on our website, carolinaweek.org.
UNC's Southern Folklore Collection just got a little more country. Two country legends entertained audiences in Hill Hall Tuesday with stories and songs. George Hamilton IV and John Loudermilk have been involved in country music since the 50s. Dubbed the International Ambassador of Country Music by Billboard magazine, Hamilton is a regular at Nashville's Grand Ole Opry and has toured with Johnny Cash and Buddy Holly. Many famous artists have recorded Loudermilk's songs, and he's in the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. The musician's recordings and photographs will be available at Wilson Library.
After more than a year of renovation, the new Campus Y building is ready for its grand opening. Here's a sneak peek. On Wednesday, movers brought furniture and equipment into the renovated building in time for Thursday's scheduled opening. The new building has meeting rooms, office space, an elevator, a food court, and a patio with a small cafe. The Y was established in 1859 and was the hot spot on campus before the Pit even existed. The building was going to be torn down before Y alumni stepped in and paid for its renovation. Director of Campus Y, Virginia Carson, says that the Y will begin operating from the new building.
We're not completely done in terms of furniture and fixings, but we're going to be running our operations from this building starting today.
Members of the Campus Y will host an open house Thursday at 4 p.m., complete with live music and every college student's favorite, free food.
We all know how busy our campus can be. The one problem with having so many events going on? Parking. Reporter Natasha Townsend joins us now from the Department of Public Safety. Natasha, what's the problem with parking?
Well, Adam, every day at UNC, officers hand out dozens of tickets for illegal parking, and the punishment is becoming harsher for some students.
Students are used to seeing cars with a citation or two on the window shields. However, a boot on the tire or a tow truck pulling a car is a new sight.
I would think it would be hilarious. I mean, I never really expected or would expect to see a boot on a college campus.
But funny is the last thing you'll think if it's your vehicle. According to regulations for parking and control at UNC, a person and their vehicle are placed on a list if they're repeat offenders. If they're cited for another violation, a person's car is subjected to towing or booting. UNC sophomore Kat Hogue says she never knew she would have so many problems because of multiple offenses.
It's kind of ridiculous. I think that it's, obviously they have to control parking because it's a commodity on campus, but, I think such harsh penalties aren't a good idea because, this campus has to remain a working campus and sometimes you have to get to class.
These regulations can be found on DPS's website, but you have to search for the document. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you might never find it. DPS spokesman Randy Young says students can familiar themselves with regulations by getting a pamphlet from the DPS office.
We have it in almost every brochure that we publish. We put it out to all students before they arrive on campus through a Going Places brochure, which is mailed to home of every student who's coming, and that's all undergrad and graduate students, not just incoming freshmen or transfers.
But most students park where they can and hope if they do get a ticket, they can get it overturned or appealed.
Now, the department issued nearly $1 million worth of tickets last year. However, students were able to appeal half of that amount. In Chapel Hill, I'm Natasha Townsend, Carolina Week.
Natasha, what makes a student a repeat offender?
Well, if a student gets 5 tickets in a year or 2 tickets within 30 days and has unpaid fines, then they're considered a repeat offender. And if they have tickets that amount to $250 or more, they are also placed in this category.
Natasha Townsend reporting from the DPS offices on South Campus. Thanks, Natasha.
From paying parking tickets to worrying about paying the government, we'll show you where to get help on your taxes for free.
And ladies, find out why you could be more susceptible to germs than men when we come back.
To a child, a little of your time can make a lifetime of difference. That's why the Greenville Family Partnership sponsored a hike, because kids with something to do are less likely to do drugs.
Standing right in front of them.
Whether you're a good storyteller or a good listener, you can help. To find out about community drug prevention programs, call toll-free 1-877-KIDS-313.
I can keep a kid off drugs.
Hey man, what's up?
Not a whole lot, man. Just waiting on the bus. How about you?
But you got your bike.
Yeah, so?
How are you gonna do that?
Oh, you can put your bike on the bus. It's easy. I'll show you how.
Oh.
First, pull the rack down. Then, just lift your bike and place the tires in the rack. Finally, lift the lever and snap it into place to hold your bike securely. Chapel Hill Transit, working for you.
Some UNC students are crunching numbers for people feeling the crunch of tax time. Volunteers are manning free tax clinics between now and April 14th. Using software from the IRS, the students process simple tax returns for members of the community. The clinics are on Tuesdays and Saturdays at the Hargraves Center off West Rosemary Street. All you need to do is bring your W-2 forms, which you should have already gotten from your employer. UNC junior Francis Ellington says the program doesn't just benefit the people getting help, the students get a lot out of it too.
It's such a learning experience for everyone involved, and we've even had a few clients from last year come in to recognize us.
In between working with clients, students use the downtime to catch up on homework.
You know that old rhyme that says little girls are made of sugar and spice? Well, it turns out that might not be true. A new study shows women are germier than men because of makeup. Lip gloss spreads bacteria from the fingers to the mouth, trapping bacteria on the lips. Hand lotion is another culprit, transferring and trapping those nasty germs. As a result, women are up to 4 times more likely to have dirty cell phones and computer keyboards than men. Student Alexis Travars says she thinks the study, which was conducted by a man, is inaccurate, and she knows firsthand that men are not cleaner than women.
I have 5 older brothers, and they're all much dirtier than I am, and I don't really wear makeup, which seems to be the biggest contributing factor. So I'm sorry, I just can't give him any credit for this.
To find out more about the study, you can go to our website, carolinaweek.org. If you've had major stomach problems in the past 2 weeks, you're not alone. The state epidemiologist says a virus has triggered outbreaks in a number of counties across North Carolina. Health reporter Sarah Whitmarsh has more.
This way. Just 10 days ago, Dr. John Nichols and his family were fighting a bad bug, what's commonly known as stomach flu.
Absolutely horrible. It was no fun. I was completely nauseated to the point where I really couldn't even function.
Nichols says the symptoms were consistent with norovirus, the same bug that has caused sickness on cruise ships and college campuses, including UNC 2 years ago. Infectious disease specialist Dr. David Weber says he suspects there are local cases now, even though the Orange County Health Department hasn't confirmed an official outbreak in Chapel Hill.
We've had a number of patients admitted with diseases that almost certainly are noroviruses. I'm sure we saw cases here.
Weber says the virus can spread easily, especially in places where people come in close contact.
It can contaminate food, water, or direct person-to-person transmission. And it's quite hardy in the environment, so it survives for very long periods of time on countertops or in food.
Illness with norovirus usually lasts only 1 or 2 days, but symptoms can be severe and include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal cramps.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the best way to prevent infection is to wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers won't protect you.
Norovirus researcher Lisa Lindy Smith says hand washing is important for everyone, not just those who are sick.
About 60% of the people who have the virus and are infected do not have symptoms. Thus, they're out, they go to work, they go to school, and they are shedding virus.
Doctors say people who experience symptoms should stay at home to prevent spread of the virus. Now the Nichols family is back to enjoying one another, rather than sharing a virus. In Chapel Hill, I'm Sarah Whitmarsh, Carolina Week.
Doctors say the norovirus often causes dehydration in children and the elderly, but regardless of age, anyone experiencing symptoms should drink plenty of fluids.
A North Carolina man has helped open doors of opportunity for others throughout his career. In 1959, Henry Fry was the first black student to receive a degree from UNC's law school. Fry went on to become the first black to serve on the North Carolina Supreme Court and later became the first black Chief Justice. His granddaughter, UNC senior Whitney Fry, finds her grandfather's accomplishments a bit overwhelming, but lives by his motto that you should follow your dreams. Fry was inspired to become a lawyer after he was denied the right to vote. To wrap up Black History Month, we're taking a look at someone who's had a big impact on Chapel Hill and our state. Former Chapel Hill Mayor Howard Nathaniel Lee was born in 1934. He came to Chapel Hill in 1964 when he enrolled to earn his master's in UNC School of Social Work. He was elected president of the Student Association of Social Work twice. In 1969, he made history, becoming Chapel Hill's first black mayor. In 1990, he was elected to the North Carolina State Senate, where he served for 13 years, making major changes in education legislation. Lee still lives in Chapel Hill and serves as the chairman of the State Board of Education. And we're joined now by weathercaster Jonathan O.
Hi, Johnny O.
Hi.
So is spring teasing us, or is this warmer weather actually here to stick around for a while?
Well, we might actually be seeing some up and down temperatures coming up this week, and I know that people have been getting used to this warmer weather and are having plenty of fun in the sun, but do other students have the right idea by keeping on their jackets? I'll let you know when we come back.
Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle, King of the Apes, father of boy. He knows what it takes to be a dad. You go for a ride, you take a swim, you hang out. All it takes is time. Hey, it doesn't take a hero, but it takes a man to be a dad.
There is really only one boy. One girl, one tree, one forest, one ocean, one mountain, one sky, and one simple way to care for it all. Please visit earthshare.org and learn how the world's leading environmental groups are working together under one name, EarthShare. One environment, one simple way to care for it.
Well, it seems like thunderstorms are going to be headed their way toward our area by Thursday night. Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Jonathan O. First of all, we're going to be expecting rain coming in on Thursday afternoon, thunderstorms possible as well. So I'll give you the details in just a moment. And then we'll see some nice Friday afternoon conditions. Sunny skies expected to return to our area after a major storm system moves through. But then we'll expect a cooler weekend as temperatures will be dropping into the mid-50s for your daytime temperatures. Taking a look at your southeastern satellite and radar imagery, notice that there are a lot of clouds building toward Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. And this is preceding a storm system that will be moving into our area. What it is a low-pressure system with this cold front right behind it. But in front of that, we have a warm front that will be pushing its way toward the east, and by Thursday it's going to be giving us a chance of some pretty severe thunderstorms. We have a special weather statement that was issued by the National Weather Service that tells us that we might be seeing severe thunderstorms, winds gusting up to 65 miles per hour, and possible tornadoes overnight, late Thursday night into Friday morning at 7 a.m. So keep your ears tuned to your local television and radio station to see if anything might happen. But at this time, all it is a bunch of rain that's going to be pushed to our area with some thunderstorms, and then by Friday what's going to happen is, notice that there's a warm front that just passed off and then a cold front behind it. What it means is now temperatures are going to start dropping for your weekend, so we might not see the wonderful mid to upper 60 conditions that we've been seeing the entire week. Temperatures will be slightly lower for this coming weekend. Now, if you're headed to the Campus Y, we mentioned this earlier in our broadcast, if you are interested in headed out there for tomorrow, it is the 100th anniversary for them, but it's also a grand reopening for them. It's going to be at 4 o'clock at the Campus Y building. A rain is likely, but we're saying 20 to 30% at the 4 o'clock hour with temperatures in the upper 60s. The chance of rain will be actually increasing as we hit 9 and 10 o'clock on Thursday night. Now, for tonight, here's your forecast. More clouds expected, increasing cloudiness throughout the evening hours, low around 40 degrees. And here's your 4-day forecast. This is what's important. Thursday is the most important thing to point out right now. Thunderstorms and rain moving into the area Thursday night into Friday morning. Overnight period. Temperatures will be staying in the 60s, and then here's the next thing. For Sunday, partly cloudy conditions, and it's going to be cooler. I guess we're going to cool down the temperatures as the Tar Heels head over to Duke University, and I think that the heat needs to be cooled down a tad bit, so that's why we're going to drop temperatures into the 50s. The beach forecast looks like this. We'll be seeing mostly cloudy conditions. It should be decent. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s and the mid-50s by Sunday, and then your mountain forecast looks like this. Temperatures will be hovering around 50 degrees, partly cloudy conditions, so maybe what you should do is to head over to the mountains this weekend during the middle of all those midterm stuff, and then as we head over to spring break for the weekend, the next weekend, you should head out there to relax a bit.
All right, well, I'll have to put off that beach trip for a few more weeks. Thanks, Johnny.
And we're joined now by sportscaster Brandon Curry. Hi, Brandon.
We're going to need to grab our Duke weathercaster. Do you have tickets to the game?
Hey, I wasn't given any. Why didn't you give me any?
That's good. I didn't want you to drive all this way to see your team lose.
Ooh.
Coming up in sports, one championship in college would be a dream for a lot of people. Coming up, we'll tell you the story of a senior diver who has already won an ACC championship and now has her eyes set on the NCAAs.
My name's Lisa, and in 9 years I'll be an alcoholic.
Hi, Lisa.
I'll start drinking in 8th grade, and I'll do some things I don't really want to do. So by the time my parents talk to me about it, alcohol won't be my only problem.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults. So start talking before they start drinking.
My parents won't believe it could happen to me.
200 years ago, Lewis and Clark set out to discover an all-water route to the Pacific. But what they really discovered were 58 hospitable nations who could have ended their journey at any time, but saved it instead. As we commemorate their bicentennial, we invite you to walk with them at lewisandclark200.org and see what you discover, because their trail winds through us all.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports, and this is my extra Duke ticket. I could share it with Johnny O, but I don't feel like it. The ACC regular season title, a #1 seed in the ACC tournament, a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament, and above all else, bragging rights. Sports reporter Jessica Waltz has a preview of what's at stake this weekend for the men's basketball team.
The Tar Heels go into the weekend with 2 games left before March Madness. First, the Heels will take on Georgia Tech in their run to stay atop the conference standings. In their first meeting, the Heels ran away with a 77-61 victory. Thursday's game in Atlanta is important, but let's be honest. We are all thinking ahead to Sunday. The Dean Dome will house the sport's most heated rivalry, Carolina versus Duke. And after surviving one of the most hostile environments in the country, the Heels will now have the crowd on their side. In the last matchup, the Devils came out strong, but freshman Tywan Lawson proved to be too much to handle. Here, he turns a steal into 2 of his 15 points. Freshman Brandon Wright also dropped a team-high 19. Carolina still trailed most of the game, but down the stretch, a 12-man rotation simply wore down the Devils. Emotions are sure to be high in Sunday's game, especially for Rayshon Terry. The senior will play his final home game of his college career, and the Heels should look for Terry to set the tone. Carolina has struggled finishing close games, and to win, players must learn from their mistakes. The Heels are favored, but expect a celebration anyway, because this game isn't just about records, it's about pride. If you ask me, March Madness starts early this year. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jessica Waltz, Carolina Week Sports.
Senior year is the last chance to make a statement as a college athlete. Sports reporter Brittany Busian tells us about one senior Tar Heel who's making a splash in her final year at Carolina.
Laura Phillips says she can hardly count the number of hours a week she spends at the pool, but it's all been worth it. A senior member of the swimming and diving team, she's had quite an exciting few weeks. Just over a week ago, Laura and her women teammates became ACC champs.
It's been surreal. We haven't stopped celebrating it.
Laura is the only in-state member of the women's diving team, graduating from Durham School of the Arts in '03. She began diving late by most standards, but during her years at UNC, she worked her way up and became UNC's top scoring diver at the women's ACCs.
I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's what I've known all my whole life, and it's a lot of stuff, but the relationships, and it's really enhanced my college experience, I think.
The season is winding down in some respects, but it's in full throttle in others. NCAA qualifying begins tomorrow, where Laura hopes to get a shot at representing the Heels at the championships in Minneapolis next week.
My coach has said that I kind of have a chance, so that makes me nervous, but I'm not getting ahead of myself there.
For a senior athlete, the last contest will always be bittersweet.
To finish like this is unbelievable. I mean, you always hope that you could do it and win the championship, but like on Frank's last year and my last chance, it's really been incredible.
But Laura is a member of a distinguished and fortunate group of athletes. Athletes who will go out on top. In Chapel Hill, I'm Brittany Bussian, Carolina Week Sports.
We've got some news. UNC is up 3-2 at the top of the 8th right now, and Mia Hamm was just elected to the Soccer Hall of Fame. She was named on 90% of the ballots.
And that's the baseball score, 3-2
Yep.
at the top of the 8th, and they're still undefeated, right? Mm-hmm. Great. Brandon Curry, thanks.
Thanks, Brandon. Well, what do you think about when you think of salsa?
Chips, dip, and margaritas, maybe?
Don't you wish? When we come back, we'll show you a different type of salsa designed with babies in mind.
Mother taught me. She's
averaging 18%. Balance the budget. Increasing clouds for...
UNC TV. Your remote stops here.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Bald, chubby, and short, not the typical description of a woman's dream dance partner.
Well, definitely not for me, but for a group of local moms, it's a perfect fit. Reporter Alex Villarreal has the story.
And left 4, 3. Durham mom Susanna Ramsey preps her students for the day's workout with 7-week-old Liam strapped to her belly. Ramsey teaches Salsa Babies, an exercise class for new moms. The workout gives the proud parents and their little ones a chance to shake it to a Latin beat. Forward and back and turn. 4, 3, 2, and 1.
They get into the beat and they get some exercise and they learn how to dance, and a lot of men don't want to dance, so this way they can get out and dance with their baby.
Ramsey covers several Latin dances, including merengue, 2, 3, and 4. and salsa. This salsa baby has her moves down pat.
She loves listening to music and looking at the mirror, so it was perfect for her.
I borrowed Liam to try out some moves of my own. He wasn't too happy. 2, and 1, to the side. 4.
I think I got the steps down, but not the muttering.
The real moms say the class isn't just a good way to burn off their baby fat. It also gives them the opportunity to socialize.
I think it's really important for moms to network and meet other moms.
And the best part of the class for the babies is that if they're tired, they're rocked right to sleep. In Durham, I'm Alex Villarreal, Carolina Week.
To find out how to sign up for Salsa Babies, you can go to our website, carolinaweek.org.
So, Adam, does that make you want to go grab an old Cabbage Patch Kid and try out some of your moves?
Yeah, maybe that'll work better for me than the way I normally dance. I don't know.
I don't think I want to see it.
No, it's not very pretty. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you very much for watching, and have a good night.